What's up guys, my name is Brandon, welcome to Quick Flicks. Today, we are covering Hush, directed by Mike Flanagan in 2016. Flanagan is a very notable director, directing films such as Dr. Sleep, Oculus, and even the Netflix series The Haunting of Hill House, which I strongly recommend by the way. Hush follows a lady named Maddie, who is a deaf-mute author. Fun fact, because Maddie is deaf and mute, this film contains less than 15 minutes of dialogue, which should tell you right off the bat that there's some great sound design in this. Now with all of that out of the way, let's jump into the movie. The movie opens up with an abrupt title card and a shot looking over some trees in a forest. Within those trees, we see a little house. Inside that house sits Maddie, a mute and deaf author, cutting up some veggies to throw in that dinner. She uses her laptop to read the recipe for this dish when she gets a notification from her neighbor, Sarah. Sarah asks if she can stop by the house, Maddie saying for show. Maddie gets some cat food and sets it down for that cute thing when she sees Sarah already on the way. They meet up and Sarah goes on and on about the book Maddie just wrote titled Midnight Mass, expressing her thoughts and opinions. To sum it up, she really loves the book. Looking at the back of the book, we can see that Maggie once was able to hear, but lost that sense at just the age of 13. They have a cute little friendship and Sarah attempts sign language, so Maddie has an easier time understanding, despite Maddie being able to read lips. Maddie's fire alarm suddenly goes off due to the smoke from the food she had in the oven getting a little too crisp. She shuts it off and explains to Sarah its extreme loudness allows her to feel the vibrations coming off the alarm. They hang out for a bit longer, and Sarah heads home. Maddie gets to work and starts typing, but suffers from a little bit of writer's block. Giving herself a break, she starts cleaning up the kitchen when Sarah suddenly starts banging against the door, pleading and begging to let her in, Maddie obviously not hearing. Sarah then gets a bolt right through the frickin' shoulder, ouch. A masked man then approaches her and stabs her right in the stomach 13 heckin' times. Sarah then falls to her death, and the masked man realizes Maddie is deaf. Maddie gets all finished up cleaning the kitchen and goes back to writing when she gets a FaceTime call from her sister Max. They converse for a little bit when the masked man takes Maddie's phone off the counter, Max realizing and asking who's behind her, but Maddie brushes it off and just says it's probably her cat. They then say their goodbyes and end their call. Maddie then gets back to work when she starts receiving photos of herself from her own phone. She gets a bit confused and notices the door is open. She stands up nervously and looks out the door to see the masked man with her phone. She races the man to the door, but she beats him and locks it. He then attempts to enter through other doors, but Maddie is quicker and locks them all. The man then walks away out of her vision, and she takes the opportunity to use her laptop to call 911 when the power suddenly cuts out, disabling her laptop from using the internet. She then looks out the front door again and sees the man stabbing her tires. Maddie then gets the idea to grab her lipstick and write a message on the window. The message being, won't tell, didn't see face, boyfriend coming home. He then removes the mask, forcing her to see his face. He also finds out that she can read lips, and pretty much says he's gonna toy with her, then kill her. Oh, how delightful. He walks away, and Maddie arms herself with a knife and a hammer. She then barricades herself in her room when she hears a noise at the window. She opens the curtains to see Sarah's dead body banging against the window. This freaks her out and she leaves the room. She then comes up with another little plan, setting off the alarm on her car to divert the man over there. Maddie then runs back to the room and opens the window and searches Sarah's corpse for her phone. The man sees this and runs back over there and reaches for Maddie, but Maddie slams that window down, crushing his fingers. He overpowers her and opens the window, but Maddie grabs the hammer and stabs it into him, forcing him to let go. Oh, he don't look too happy about that. Maddie then hides from the man a bit longer, and then makes a run for it into the trees, when a bolt comes flying by her head. This causes her to divert back to the house for safety. Another close call. She then goes upstairs, grabs a light, and climbs out a window on the top floor. She gets on the roof and throws the light far into the woods, diverting the man away from the house. Maddie begins to climb down when she gets shot in the leg with an arrow. She immediately climbs back up and dodges another close arrow. The man then starts to climb up, but Maddie punches him when he reaches the top and takes his crossbow. He doesn't like that very much and rushes back up to get her, but Maddie makes it back to the window and climbs inside, keeping the crossbow. She goes to the bathroom and cleans her wound, then wrapping it up, the man just watching her. Suddenly, there's a knock at the front door. It's John, Sarah's boyfriend. The man hears this, but Maddie obviously doesn't. The man walks around to the front and confronts him, saying he's a police officer responding to a call. The man claims to have been knocked out by a potential robber. He requests John's phone for backup. Yes, I put quotes around that. John willingly hands it over, but while the man is making the phony phone call, John gets a bit suspicious of him. After the fake call, John asks for his phone back, the man handing it over, but when he does, Sarah's earrings fall out of his pocket. John notices this and immediately knows the man isn't a cop. He then starts questioning the man, but doesn't make it known that he sees through his lies. John then tells the man about a spare key to the house and a plant, letting him know that he should get it. John grabs a rock and gets ready to smash his head in when Maddie pounds on the door, getting John's attention. He looks away for a split second and gets stabbed in the neck by the man. John, in shock, attempts swinging and fighting the man, but gets his leg cut, forcing him to the ground. John seemingly bleeds out, but gets one burst of energy and tackles the man and gets him in a chokehold, but slowly dies, releasing the man from the hold. Maddie takes this chance to run away, but the man sees this and chases after her, hitting her head in with a rock, and then getting on top of her and repeatedly hitting her, supposedly killing her, the movie then suddenly ending. Nah, I'm just JKing. That would have been something though, huh? This ends up being a vision that she gets, making her think twice about actually running away. The man then finds a tire iron in the back of Maddie's car and also finds her cute kitty. He gets ready to kill it when Maddie shoots him in the chest. Heck yeah, Maddie, get him. She runs back into the house, getting chased by the man when she drops an arrow. She dives for it, but the man crushes her hand in the door and stomps on it, breaking it. Holy moly, man, that would be very painful. He tells her he's coming in, and she dares him to. She runs to the bathroom as he's breaking the glass, but his plans change as she's waiting for him to come in. He finds a way in behind her. He starts talking to her, and then chuckles. Maddie feeling his breath, she immediately flips her knife and turns around to stab him in the knee. She runs into the kitchen and falls down, getting some wasp killer. The man shows up, and she sprays it in his eyes, then setting off the alarm, which is hurting his little ears. He gets upset and hits her, knocking her onto the ground. He gets on top of her and then starts choking her, making her almost die, but she then finds a corkscrew right next to her. She grabs it and stabs that thing right in his neck. He bleeds out, falls off, and dies. She grabs her phone and dials 911. She walks outside and sits on her porch as a police officer arrives. She closes her eyes and smiles, happy to live another day, and the screen fades to black.